Alright, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another edition of Coastal Zone Championship Wrestling, the push for relevancy here on the channel. We are just past Surf Slam 2022, the Surf Slam pay-per-view. In the main event, of course, Masked Cougar did defeat American Flash, Carlos Barrera, and Frankie Perez to earn himself another Coastal Zone Championship match at our next pay-per-view, the one we are currently building to, Battle on the Beach. So we will see a rematch of the very first main event of this save, Masked Cougar versus Frankie Boy Fernandez. But a little bit of news, we have a little bit of news to get into. First things first, it is being reported by TEW.com that after the match, after Masked Cougar clinched the title match in the Fatal 4-Way, Frankie Boy Fernandez came out to confront Masked Cougar, and then the Coastal Kings jumped them. There is a report going around that Frankie Boy Fernandez was injured during that jumping. During that beatdown, Frankie Boy suffered an undisclosed neck or back injury as a result of the Coastal Kings beatdown. So there is that. Also in the news, this has absolutely nothing to do with us. I just wanted to report on this. I took a little screenshot right here. Bunraku Kantori held up Black Canvas Grappling for money. Again, this has absolutely no bearing on our save. I just wanted to mention it because Bunraku Kantori is a legend on this channel as from previous saves. So I just thought that'd be really fun to note. So yeah, here he is, Bunraku Kantori. But, so this episode, of course, will be a 2-episode special, again, of Coast to Coast, like every single episode of Coast to Coast. I show you the entire taping. We only got 4 Coast to Coast before the next pay-per-view, so tonight we will see, in this episode, we will see Coast to Coast episodes 23 and 24, the following episode 25 and 26, and then it's the pay-per-view. So, pre-booked for Coast to Coast number 23, we, of course, have Zell Quinn versus Johnny Perez in a, cage match. As a result of the pay-per-view, as a result of Johnny Perez and the California Dreams winning against the Q Crew, Zell Quinn is forced to go one-on-one against Johnny Perez in a steel cage. So, does Zell Quinn have any plan to get out of this, or is he just gonna take the beating like an actual professional for once? I doubt it, but you never know. You can never guess what Zell Quinn is truly planning. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into episode number 23 of Coast to Coast. Alright, so we open taping number 23 of Coast to Coast with none other than the history preservers, the historians themselves, the Coastal Kings. Now, if you remember, to end the last pay-per-view, to end Surf Slam, Masked Cougar had won the Fatal 4-Way. He will receive a World Championship match at the pay-per-view at Battle on the Beach. And at the end of the pay-per-view, the Coastal Kings came out and took out Frankie Boy Fernandez. They jumped him. And they come out to mock Frankie Boy Fernandez. They announce that Frankie, they hurt him. They injured him. They took him out. They gave him a back injury. They gave him a stinger. He is not medically cleared to show up to CZCW the next 2 weeks, and they mock this man. They say, how is this guy going to even defend his title at the pay-per-view if he can't even show up to work? And they continue to berate Frankie Boy Fernandez until, of course, his tag team partner, this Going Coastal member, California Love Machine, comes out and stands up for him. Cali essentially says, like, look, I don't know who the fuck you guys think you are. I don't know what you guys' deal with this company is. I don't know what your grudge is, but I'm gonna tell you something. You can't just come in here and fucking think you're gonna run roughshod when you hold no actual power. You're only gonna get so far. You fuck with a guy like Frankie Boy Fernandez, you fuck with a lot of people, but you fuck with me most of all. Weird way to phrase that, 64. But, essentially, he says Coastal Kings aren't gonna get away with injuring his best friend, his homie, without consequences. So in the main event tonight, we will see Masked Cougar versus California Love Machine 1-on-1. Bang. Opening the show, though, we have a 70 rated performance from the new main event sensation, Carlos Barrera, who goes 8 minutes and 13 seconds with Viento Negro, hits the Curb Your Enthusiasm, gets the victory. This match was designed to steal the show. Why did the segment was that whole penalty just... Yeah, it's because it was an important match. It's a 56 for an opener. I'm more than fine with that. And after the match, Carlos Barrera, he talks about the four-way. He talks about that fatal four-way that Masked Cougar won, that he was a part of. And he says, look, I didn't come out on top. I didn't win. I didn't get the World Championship match, but I did one thing and one thing only. I proved that I belong in pay-per-view main events. I showed my worth. I hung with the best men that this company has to offer, has had to offer, some of the biggest names in CZCW history, and I held my own. Did I win? No, but I'll fucking win next time. When he is ambushed by Seth Whitehead. Seth Whitehead comes in, he lays him out, and he beats him down, and he leaves. We don't get an explanation from Seth Whitehead as to why he did this, but, yeah, Seth Whitehead not enjoying Carlos Barrera's words here. And then up next, we get another promo from another member of that Fatal 4-Way. And Frankie Perez is not very fond of that Fatal 4-Way. He says that it's all bullshit. He essentially says that 4-Way was all bullshit. It did not determine who is the best competitor of the four. It did not properly determine who should be challenging for the world title next, because everybody knows it should be me. Everybody knows I am the best that this company has to offer. Everybody knows I should be fighting Frankie Boy Fernandez for that world title. All that 4-Way did was prove that guys like Masked Cougar can do whatever the hell they want and get no real repercussions. I don't care what California Love Machine says. We all know that 4-Way was bullshit, and his promo is interrupted by his bitter rival right now, American Flash. And American Flash says, look, I tried to build the bridge with you. You tore it down. We tore it down together. I tried to rebuild it, and you fucking blew it up again. So you know what? Your entire downfall is on you, Frankie Perez. You didn't win that match because you weren't good enough to win that match. None of us but Masked Cougar were good enough that night. And until you stop seeing the short term, you're going to continue to fail. You deserve your... I think I speak for everybody in the back right now when I say that we're all happy that you didn't win that 4-Way, because your behavior as of late has been scummy, even for you. 49 for that promo. We then get the much anticipated steel cage match between Zell Quinn and Johnny Perez, and noticeably, even though it's a cage match and there's no way that anyone can get in or out, the California Dreams and Wasted Potential were both not at ringside here. They did not accompany either man to the ring. We don't know why, but Zell Quinn truly came in alone. He fought fair and square. I guess he essentially admitted defeat here. There was no way in or out to cheat during this match, and Johnny Perez ends up conquering his demons in Zell Quinn in 11 minutes and 38 in this steel cage match, or so we thought, because it might not be over between the Q Crew, Johnny Perez, and the California Dreams, because appearing on the Coastal Zone Titantron, we see Wasted Potential, and they say, Johnny, Zell, we're so sorry. We're so sorry we couldn't make it to the cage match. We really tried, but there was this huge, big fight in our way, and we were able to get Zell Quinn out of here, but Zell Quinn told us to stay back and handle this fight. It's just terrible. It was a mess, everyone. But, oh man, nobody got hurt more than these two. And then the camera pans down and we see Sky Hermosa's body. We don't see Kira Lee's body because she's touring in 5SSW right now. But we can only assume that she was laid out too. So Eureka, LaBelle, and Onslaught. I guess Zell Quinn pulled a suicide mission here. Accepted defeat during this cage match. However, during the cage match, Eureka, LaBelle, and Onslaught were able to lay out the California Dreams with no one named Johnny Perez to stop them. So 32, Q Crew, Johnny Perez might have won the cage match, but the Q Crew have clearly stood tall tonight. They, they're pretty shitty. They're pretty shitty guys. After this, we have an interview from California Love Machine, just a quick one, like, just saying that even though he's directing this towards the Coastal Kings, he says even though Frankie Boy is injured, he's not on the road with us for the next 2 weeks, I still have backup. If the Coastal Kings try any funny business, if they try taking liberties with me, I got someone up my sleeves. I got someone up my sleeves to have my back. So don't think you're going to be able to walk out of this one so easily tonight, Mass Cougar. Up next, we get the debut of Rich and Famous. They made their return at the pay-per-view alongside Air Attack Weasel, laying out both the Tag Champs and Gangster Nation. They made their return to the company. Snapdragon Jr. has, in fact, broken his toe. Poor guy. But Rich and Famous' first match back is here against the Cold Blood Brothers. Jackpot Jordan pins Komodo Dragon in 11:41 with the house always wins. And already back in the fold, and they're not here to waste any time. And yeah, I'm aware. I saw. Okay. And that's the entirety of this next promo. They call out the tag team champions. This is what they say. They say they've spent the past 4 years working in the East, up in Pittsburgh, and they've been running house over there, but they wanted to come back to reestablish their roots across the country. And they're not here to waste any time. They want to face the Beach Boys for the tag team titles. The Beach Boys come out, and they say, look, honestly, maybe it's not the best decision by us to just give title matches away, but there's nothing we want more right now than to beat you two assholes up. And they're ready to give Rich and Famous a tag team title shot until the Inner City Express come out. They, if you also remember, they also had a big win at the pay-per-view, defeating the team of El Jaguar and Luis Montero Jr. And the Inner City Express come in and say they are not going to let two jagoffs from the East Coast just walk in here and get right back to the title scene, especially when they haven't had to re-earn their stripes. They say they're back at square zero. If they want the tag team title shot, they gotta go through us. So next week, we will see the Inner City Express versus Rich and Famous. Winner gets a tag team title shot. So yeah, the Inner City Express standing on their shit. Will Rich and Famous be able to keep their one-match undefeated streak going? 48 for this angle. And up next, we have our boy. Heartbreaker. And he says, there are many injustices that happen in this world, but one injustice that stands above all else is something I like to call pretty privilege. Pretty privilege is when somebody gets way too many opportunities in their field, whether it's wrestling, whether it's climbing a corporate ladder. They get too many opportunities in their profession thanks to their looks. And that's exactly what's going on here with Tony DeWonderful. Tony DeWonderful only got his Extreme Championship match because of the way he looks. He only gets the press he gets because he's a handsome man. Alright? If he was an ugly troll that all these women see me as, if he was as ugly as all the women see as me, he would be nowhere near an Extreme Championship. And I'm here as the true justice system in Coastal Zone. And I will make sure that people like Tony DeWonderful no longer get special treatment. And yeah, Heartbreaker. Failing to remember the fact that he was also in that 6-way to determine a number one contender. Not only did Tony DeWonderful earn that Extreme Championship match, he earned it by beating Heartbreaker. A note that you will noticeably see that he left out of this promo. 41 from the Heartbreaker. Our semi-main sees the promiscuous pillagers, Hugh Dayask and Joanna Silver, taking on the Apex Twins. Hugh Dayask had a big win at the pay-per-view, beating Mr. Heartbreaker. Also, Heartbreaker, ignoring that fact. He is not mentioning that. He has repressed that memory. But Hugh Dayask gets another win here, pinning Gabe Apex with the cutthroat driver. Really good performance by the Hugh Dayask here. And Hugh Dayask says straight up that he has saved this company from another month of Heartbreaker getting a win. That has not happened thanks to him, and he wants to get back onto that singles championship track. He's won a pay-per-view singles match. He wants a shot at the Extreme Championship. And then Johnny Perez interrupts. Johnny Perez says, I'm sorry, Hugh, but tonight, in that cage, I just proved that I am more extreme than you will ever be. I went to war with Zelquin. I have proven that I am worthy of the Extreme Championship match. And then Air Attack Weasel comes out. And Air Attack Weasel says, I don't think you guys understand. I don't think anybody in this company remembers just how goddamn extreme I am. Just how great I was as the Extreme Champion. I am one of the greatest, if not the greatest Extreme Champions this company has ever seen. And just like my brothers in crime, rich and famous, just like them, I'm not wasting any time. So if I gotta go through you two to get an Extreme Championship match, then I will do it. But neither of you will get that title shot before me. And then Sean McFly, our owner, our commissioner, our matchmaker, whatever you want to call him, he comes out and he says essentially, look, I like all three of you. I think all three of you are in contention for an Extreme title match, but I don't think any of you have earned it yet. And I think the best way to do that is to have a number one contenders match. We're already having a number one contenders match next week for the tag titles. Why not knock out two birds with one stone? Have an Extreme title match, Extreme number one contenders match as well. You three in the ring next week. Let's go. AAW, JP, that's not JP. JP and Hugh Day Ask. Three-way, winner gets the Extreme title match. And now it is time for our main event. Broken fingers. Unfortunate. Ooh, alright. Oh, man. Okay. This match goes 20 minutes and 2 seconds. And Mask Cougar is able to overcome California Love Machine. He was just, it's as simple as, yeah, California Love Machine, he's a top competitor. He pushed Mask Cougar to 20 minutes, but the numbers game, with Fox Mask 1 and 2 at ringside, and Mask Cougar still cheating to win, Fox Mask helping him win the match. The odds were too much for California Love Machine to overcome. What else did this? Mask Cougar was penalized for consistency, the injury. Okay, fine. Still 64 with broken fingers. So, thank you, Mask Cougar. Love you. Quick kiss. Mwah. So, yeah. But essentially, that's the story, is that too much for California Love Machine to overcome all by himself. And he said he had backup, but they did not come out during this match. And the Coastal Kings, they're like, I guess we have free reign to do whatever we want. So, they come in. They start beating down California Love Machine until the former IPW World Champion Aldous Blackfrere shows up once again. He comes out and he chases away the Coastal Kings. He chases them away and he saves California Love Machine. He grabs a microphone and he says, look, I know I don't work for this company. I know I work for some guys across the street in IPW. However, I work for COT. I worked for COTT, and last night, it wasn't last night, and at the last CZCW pay-per-view, I just went to war with your world champion, with Frankie Boy Fernandez, and during that match, we both learned something valuable. We both learned that the two of us, despite the fact that visually, aesthetically, that lifestyle-y, we seem nothing alike. Me and Frankie seem nothing alike, except after we just went to hell and back against each other, we noticed that we both love receiving pain, we both love getting fucking hurt, and we both love hurting other people. Frankie Boy Fernandez earned my respect last night. I earned his, and I'm going to make sure that anyone that fucks with people like us, that fucks with outsiders like us, get punishment. Mask Cougar, you want someone to fight? You want someone to fight, then fight me next week, one-on-one in the main event. Aldous Blackfrere standing up for the man that he now has mutual respect for in Frankie Boy Fernandez. We still had him for one more show. For whatever reason, I don't know how, I'm gonna fucking use him. It's Aldous Blackfrere. I'm gonna use him. So, Aldous Blackfrere has a gimmick that's getting stale. Thanks, game. Overall, show got a 62. Beautiful show. I really enjoyed that. So let's get into the other taping. Norton, come on. What is this? Don't show again. I don't know if that pop-up came on my screen. If it did, fuck you. There was a pop-up on my screen. Let's get into the next show. Alright, we kick off the second taping of Coast to Coast with a cold open. Hugh Day Ask has been laid out. He arrived at the building. We don't see who jumped him. Joanna Silver was not with him. Sean McFly was not with him. But we open the show. We see Hudask's lifeless body, a broken window in his car, and he is laid out. Joanna and Sean, they come running in. They try waking him up. They try helping him. Sean's like, someone call a fucking ambulance. Call a fucking ambulance. He's hurt. There's blood everywhere. Chaos. Utter chaos to kick off this edition of Coast to Coast. Hudask, of course, in that triple threat #1 contenders match. How will that be affected? Will he be able to compete? It really doesn't look like it. But we get into our opening match. The show must go on. Rich and Famous versus the Inner City Express kicks things off. The Inner City challenge Rich and Famous, saying that these has-beens are not going to come in and take their spot. But that's honestly exactly what happens. Rich and Famous come in. Yes, they cheat the win. They illegally use the ropes for leverage, but they get the job done in 13 minutes and 7 seconds. Jackpot Jordan pins Jay Becker, and Rich and Famous... Oh, sorry, I burped. And Rich and Famous, not even 3 weeks in to their return to CZCW, and they've already earned themselves a tag team title match. But after the match, they are joined by Air Attack Weasel, and they make an example out of Jay Becker and Malik Cash. They start beating these poor dudes down, and they start beating them, and beating them, and beating them. They're hitting them with pile drivers, on chairs, smashing them with baseball bats, and eventually, even though the tag team champs don't care for them, they have seen enough, and they run out, and they try to stop them, but the damage is done. The Inner City Express were screwed out of the tag team title match, and then their careers have been shortened. Jackpot Jordan and Jake Idol are not the same men that they were when they left CZCW. When they left the first time, they were, your stereotypical, we're suave, high society heels. They are here, and they are fucking, different breed. PSW changed these men. And, but yeah, we will see these newly revamped and angry Rich and Famous take on the Beach Boys for the tag titles at the pay-per-view. And we cut to Sean McFly's office, where he is joined by none other than the Q Crew and Zell Quinn, and he comes in and he says, Sean, look, I know you got a lot on your plate. I know you're dealing with that whole Hudask fiasco. I don't know what happened. Honest to God, I don't. I cross my heart, whatever. However, I can help you out with that. You promised these fans a 3-way. They're going to be pissed if you don't give them a 3-way. Put me in that 3-way. Look, I know I lost the cage match to Johnny Perez, but Johnny Perez's whole argument was that, he showed how extreme he was in that cage match. Let me ask you something, Sean McFly. Did Eureka LaBelle and Onslaught accompany me to that cage match? Zell, no, they did not, Zell. Okay, did I not go one-on-one? Did I not prove that I have the guts to take it to the extreme against Johnny Perez all by myself, even if I came up short? John's like, look, I guess you did. And Zell's like, look, I know. Come on. Just put me in the 3-way. You need a 3-man. And Sean's like, fuck. Okay, fine. Look, this is a bad situation, Zell. Fine. You can have you can get in the 3-way. You can take Hudask's spot. He's nowhere fit to compete. Fine. Go in, take his spot. Fine. And Zell's like, thank you so much, Sean. Thank you for seeing what the world has been seeing and doing what's right. Thank you. You're a great GM. Love you. Bye. Mwah. All right. 43. Zell Quinn has snuck his way into that #1 contenders match with his charming looks and attitude. Up next, we have the handsome Tony DeWonderful, the hottest man with a 45 sex appeal rating, beating Altitude in 5 minutes and 36 seconds with a lariat clothesline. Tony DeWonderful getting a 47. He is great, but Heartbreaker is not impressed, and Heartbreaker jumps him. His gimmick's getting stale. Oh no. Heartbreaker jumps him, and it's a brutal jumping. He knocks him to the ground, and he starts stomping on his face, right on his face, punches and kicks and elbows right to his face, clearly targeting the moneymaker, clearly targeting what Heartbreaker thinks is giving him all these opportunities. Is it because he's a really skilled wrestler that management is behind, or is it because he's a handsome man in Heartbreaker's eyes? Who knows? We have to change Heartbreaker's gimmick. Can he do offbeat and unstable? Violent incel. Alright, honestly, this is the most creative and unique gimmick. We'll see how, The chat has been fucking with me these whole streams, and they really love Heartbreaker, and I don't know why. I'm putting them all on a list. So, this will determine, in the next episode, we will see how over Violent Incel Heartbreaker actually is in canon, in kayfabe. Up next, we see the woman that started it all with Heartbreaker taking on Frankie Perez, and losing in 7 minutes and 49 seconds with the P clutch. I went for a gamble creative finish, didn't work out. Shit happens. Frankie got a 71. He's really good, guys. But yeah, Frankie wins against Air Raid Siren, and he calls out American Flash, just straight up. He's straight up like, I'm sick and tired of this Boy Scout bullshit from you, American Flash. Doing what's right, not doing what's wrong, sticking to morals, whatever the fuck. It's fucking lame, alright? We're wrestlers. We're prize fighters. We fight for prizes. What do? I do what I need to get a prize, to get more money for me and my family. Alright, American Flash? And if you have a fucking problem with that, then let's stop squabbling like a bunch of fucking chickens, and let's fight. Let's settle this shit once and for all at the pay-per-view. If you got a problem with the way I do business, do something about it. And American Flash comes out and he's like, Frankie, by all means, let's fucking do it. You're on. I'm sick of your attitude. I'm sick of the way you carry yourself. I'm sick of the way that you say you do what's necessary. You don't need to stick to morals. You're not better than me. You're not better than anyone. You don't stick to morals because you couldn't cut it. There's a reason you're tag partners in the biggest company in the fucking history of the North American wrestling, and you're stuck down here because you are unlikable and nobody respects you. And I'm more than happy to show you what a man with actual moral compass and heart and soul can do. And Frankie Perez fires right back, and he's like, I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm so glad I don't have your respect. I don't need your respect, because my respect is earned by the championships I win. So if you think that I'm gonna take the high road or anything that you say is gonna affect me, you're dead fucking wrong. I'm gonna double down on this scummy behavior you say I have. So get ready for the time of your life, American Flash. Boom, 57. I'm gonna gas myself up. That's gotta be one of the best promos I've ever cut on this channel. So, I'm proud of myself. 57 though, the fans didn't fucking like it. Up next, we have an interview from Seth Whitehead, and he essentially explains that the reason that he took out Carlos Pereira was because Carlos was the man that took his spot in the four-way. He says that he deserved to be in that four-way. It doesn't matter that he just lost to Frankie Perez. He has the best win-loss record in this company. He's the most feared man in this company. And Carlos Pereira, who just lost to a goddamn tiger mask, is fucking getting the match over him. The man that just lost the Extreme titles getting the spot over him. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. He took my spot. Now I have to wait even more to get a chance at that world title, so I'm going to take it out on him. I took out frustrations on California Love Machine last month. I'm going to take frustrations out on Carlos this month. He took the spot that was mine. I'm going to take it back. I don't know how, but I will. Up next is the three-way for the number one contendership for the Extreme Championship. Zell Quinn has snuck his way into this match, and he has snuck his way out of this match with an Extreme Championship match at the pay-per-view. We will see Tigre Salvaje Jr. versus Zell Quinn. The man that wasn't even supposed to be in this match has now walked out with the title shot, submitting Air Attack Weasel with the magic trick. Johnny Perez came up short, 60 rated overall match. This was actually really fun. But yes, Zell Quinn, unfortunate what happened to Hugh Day Ask, but the show must go on, and Zell Quinn has stepped up for the people. What a noble man, and he will get rewarded for his selflessness. We get an interview from another interview. We get one this time from Gangster Nation, where they say that a bunch of has-beens and never-weres, I guess never were, the has-beens are, they did stuff, came in and ruined our moment. We were supposed to win our first ever Coastal Zone Tag Team Championships on that pay-per-view. We were moments away from doing it, and then Rich and Famous and Air Attack Weasel came in to cash a paycheck off of name value alone and screw over the face of the future generation. And we're not gonna let that shit happen. We're not going to let them get away with that. Unfortunately for Rich and Famous, when Rich and Famous were allowed, maybe they could push their weight around. Maybe they could buy a few people off. But that's not how we roll. That's not how modern Coastal Zone rolls. So if they want to come in and try to run shit like it used to be, that's not going to happen. Rich and Famous, Air Attack Weasel, watch your fucking backs. 42 from them. Quick promo from the world champion. From the man himself, Frankie Boy. He's still hurt. He's cutting this promo from his home. He says, I wish I could be out there in SoCal with all of my Coastal Zone maniacs, but I'm still hurt from what those coastal cucks did to me. But I'm going to be back next week. The doctors say I'm back to compete next week, and just in time for a COTT World Championship match. Main event of the show next week. I'm going to defend my title against IPW's Hustle Mother, and I'm going to put to rest these Coastal Kings if it's the last thing I do for this company. 64, Frankie Boy is back next week, guys. And, yeah, main event tonight, Aldous Blackfair versus Mass Cougar. The story of the match is that California Love Machine's at ringside, and things are even for the most part. California Love Machine is able to thwart a lot of Fox Mask's attempts at distractions and helping Mass Cougar cheat. However, things turn sour for the faces when Fox Mask 2 comes out to ringside, and now there's a huge scuffle on the outside. Fox Mask 2 jumps California Love Machine. Fox Mask starts brawling with him. The ref's distracted. Mass Cougar's able to, not the ref, sorry. Aldous Blackfair's distracted at what's going on at the ringside. When he turns around, he's hit with the Cougar pounce. 1, 2, 3. Aldous Blackfair comes up short. The numbers advantage was too much for the baby faces to do. And, yeah, this match was fucking incredible. Mass Cougar got a 73. Double duties with broken fingers. Everybody, clap for Mass Cougar. Honest to God, he's a trooper tonight. 77 for this main event. And afterwards, the Coastal Kings handcuff California Love Machine to the rope. And Fox Mask is yelling at Aldous, this isn't your circus? Not your monkey, not your circus, right? You, of all people, why are you standing up for Frankie Boy? Why are you standing up for a erasure of history? I hope that when you get to our age, the guys in IPW try to do the same shit to you, because someone like us won't be there to team with you, to help you out when the future's trying to erase the past. So you know what? If you're trying to erase the past, we're gonna erase you. And then Mass Cougar gets Aldous Blackfair on the ringside. California Love Machine's handcuffed to the opposite end of the ring. He can't do anything about it. And they pick up Aldous Blackfair on the apron. They set up for that pile driver. And they hit the pile driver off the apron. And it's a huge deal. I'm trying to build up this spot that the Coastal Kings do. If they pile driver somebody off the apron, it's like the equivalent of the Mark Henry Pillmanizing angle when he was doing the Hall of Pain shtick. So we hype this thing up. Everyone's like, oh my god, the EMTs fucking come out. We stretcher Aldous Blackfair out. We make the most of this man's final appearance. And California Love Machine watches on, unable to do anything, as we end episode 24 of Coast to Coast. What a finish. 73. Great main event. How did things go? They'll both be good for the next taping, so that's fine. $498. Let's get it. Yeah. Sweet. No, we'll make a lot more money off the next taping, so that's good. We are now extremely over in New York, so that's good to see. And that's going to do it for this edition of the Push for Relevancy. I hope you all enjoyed. A lot of matches pre-booked on that second episode of Coast to Coast on episode number 24. A lot of stuff was set up. We will see Frankie Boy returning next week, of course, against Hustle Mova. Me and the chat figured it out during the stream. It is not Mova. I was guessing. Apparently there is slang that I don't know. I am probably too white for that. So other than that, though, we do know all of the title matches that are happening at the pay-per-view. Of course, Frankie versus Cougar. Extreme title, Zelquin sneaking his way into that Extreme Championship match against the champion Tigre Salvaje Jr. And the tag team titles up for grabs, Beach Boys versus Rich and Famous. Rich and Famous within a matter of, in kayfabe, 2 weeks of returning. In shoot, a matter of a few days, they came from not being in the company to getting a tag team title match. So they move quickly. But yeah, that's going to do it for not only this edition of Coast to Coast, but the entire Coast to Coast of June. When we come back, it will be a new database save point. It will be July. So, yeah, I hope you're all excited for that. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I hope you all come back for episode number 18 of the Push for Relevancy.